Good to have you, man. Welcome to the show. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come in and join us. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here joined by Hoy Nguyen, and he's one of the individuals that run all the production over at Ice T Labs, and they do all sort of things like incubation for projects, advising, and things like that. So, without further ado, Hoy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys do more in depth about Ice T Labs? I see you have GameFi.org, which sort of gives you a lot of analytics with a lot of projects that are building across the metaverse. You can see like social interaction and also like activity 24/7, man. So feel free to introduce us.
Yeah, okay, great. So you have time to surf our website on the gamefi.org, right? So let's speak about a little bit about myself. Say, I've been in the IT industry for more than 20 years. So before I was a developer, let's say software developer, and then technical leader, project managers, and I also run some startup company before. And 2017, let's say, my friend, which is now the CEO of iStillab, invited me to join to co-develop some products. I mean, before GameFi.org and before Red Guy Launchpad, we have been developing kind of blockchain application for in-house, for like an ERP blockchain application for the enterprise, which is using right now for some organization. And yeah, through the throughout the development, our most successful products as you know right now, which is GameFi.org and Red Guy Launchpad, let's say. So from 2 years ago, let's say, we have been initiate the Red Guy Launchpad because we thought at that time that the model of the ICO was not be trustful. So that's why launching pad should be the next level of the initial launching for the project. So at that time we called IDO, uh, and and even before AC Infinity booming, we totally had the idea and developed successfully the GameFi.org as a specific launchpad for the game. So we have been incubating, we have been launching also, 130 more than 130 projects, especially for the games. And beside that, IC also provide other services for the games and for the Web3 builders, which are the not just the launchpad, which are the gaming hub that you already mentioned. We also provide the uh, player base grow player base development through our marketing services in GameFi.org, in Red Guy Launchpad, and also in other platform and service like DSport, which is the decentralized esport for the games. So it's not just the Web 2 games, traditional game, but also the Web 3 games as well. And we've been partnering with some other companies at a joint venture to develop a mass protocol for the in-game advertisement for the Web 3s, and also for the community building. We have been developed the Metaverse project, so Metaverse.gg, if you can go to see. So in Metaverse.gg, we develop not just community building tools and service for the Web3 builder, but also we develop the in-game SDK where all the games could be integrated our gaming hub, and then all the data analytic for the game, like the information of the player, the information of the battle that they play in the game, something. Uh, and 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 also for the incubation side, because we are kind of uh, top top tier of incubation in Southeast Asia. So we have the ICT Lab accelerator program, which will be, we develop a program for the connecting between the venture capital for the expert in the fields in crypto with the Web3 builders. So let's say for the last iLab, IC accelerator program. So for the last one, we received like nearly 300 projects join our program, which is co-hosted by Polygon Studio and Alpha Venture DAOs, with the joining from AWS, Amazon, from Fivecoin, from KuCoin, from DAO Maker, let's say, from Salad Venture, let's say, and yeah. So that just what some of the initiative products and then and the service that we are serving for the market, let's say. Thank you.
That was awesome, Hoy. That was awesome. Go ahead,
That was,
Thane. Go ahead.
I know that was great. I was gonna say, so do you guys like how many unique developers you say are building on here right now?
Well, let's say in our whole company, let's say full-time employees, so we have 170 right now.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's say furthermore for some other products, let's say, because we have been joint venture with other companies as well. So in some products like mass protocol or like a vanilla apps, that is the Canva like 3D for the Web3. So we provide for sandbox. So those companies, they have a more developer as well, because in that we do incubation, we do marketing services, we do the fundraising for them, and then we have been joint venture together to develop the idea of the product, let's say. So frankly, we have more people, let's say, than the full-time employer that I mentioned.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I think GameFi is probably going to be a huge sector of crypto, and I think that along with NFTs are going to onboard more people to crypto than pretty much any other than coins ever would themselves. And I think it's really interesting just seeing how many people played different games last cycle. I think what are some of the things that you're excited about? Are there any specific projects that you're excited that are you incubated on GameFi.org?
So let's say from the incubation side, let's say we have been incubating, let's say mainly more than 40 projects, 40 games already. So most of the games we launch in our launchpad gamefi.org or Red Kite Path, we incubate. So the incubation is not just like you just put money in, right? Because we do also the advisory. We do ecosystem grow. We do market fit research. We do tokenomic research and tokenomic advisory, and also we do all the marketing in parallel with along with the project development as well. And after the game launch, and if they want to really get the real gamers, the real game players, right? So we have a system for them to engage the community. We also have the platform for them to do esport, right? So because if you play the game, you know that all the traditional popular games, they need to support the esport. So we have also esport, which is our Web3 esport platform as well, to support for the game. So in the incubation, it's something like a more deep dive into detail, not just like a money, right?
Dal, if you want to follow that up, feel free to chime in, brother. Good to have you here.
Yeah, great presentation. Love the way you described like what you're providing to gaming companies looking to to create those Web3 games. In your opinion, right? If we fast forward like a couple of years from now, what does a AAA game using Web3 technology looks like? Is that a game that competes with Fortnite? Does it compete with World of Warcraft? Or are we still some ways before we see like mass adoption and like the same amount of numbers that we see like in traditional AAA games?
So let's say my personal point of view, let's say it's pretty hard for me. Yeah, sorry to say that. It's pretty hard for me to predict something, wait like a year, in the future. But from my personal point of view, let's say, well, we can see that there is a common sense between the traditional game and the blockchain, right? Because blockchain gaming is something for us. Gaming is something most fit with the blockchain because we have the in-game currencies which could be the token, right? So we have game items. It could be NFT. We have a in-game economy, so it should be tokenomics in blockchain, and also we have some kind of like a game profile. So it would be very equivalent with the Sobao token, right? So that pretty much. So we believe that in IC Lab, we believe that game is still something the most suitable and the most easiest use case for the blockchain. So that's why the games in blockchain, so which we call GameFi, will be more in the future looks like and like the traditional game. So even the user is the investor user or the real player for the games, they still need a game which playable, right? And they need to play for fun. They need to along with the investment, they need to play for fun. They can really pay money to play, even that is Web2 or Web3 games. So that's why I think the next booming of the let's say cryptocurrency something would still be gaming, would still be GameFi, but it may be in different way. Let's say, because you see that. So right now you have a really AI technologies like a Chat GPT, right? So that's why if the game is more like integrating with some kind of tech like a AI, that help player, that help the investor to to research the game better, that have the player to really tie up smart in terms of playing the game or in terms of even investing in a gaming project. So whatever kind of game like a Fortnite or PUBG or even like AC Infinity something or some casual game that would be pretty easy, or quiz game or like a task game or something like that, or quest game, something like that. It should be I think every type of that could be successful in the future if the Web3 game builder, they are really smart to apply the tech, to apply really good strategic for community building, strategic for mass adoption of converting the Web2 user to Web3 user. Yeah. And other thing is that is also what we are building in our roadmap in GameFi.org, is that the games itself, I mean, it's just the game, individual game will be pretty hard to attract more user and more investor from crypto world. But if you have the game world, or let's say open game world, right? So you have many games in a world in the same ecosystem that share, even share a token, share the NFTs, and share even the gameplay something, and even share the game items. So if you have a type of open world like that, it could be much more easier for the gamers to raise hand for the gamer or for the investor in cryptocurrency to be diversified of their investment and playing the game in the game world. So that is what we are trying to do right now in our roadmap as well.
Yeah, that's great because you put a lot of light into what's going on in Web3 gaming, right? Because I think the last couple of years, there's been a lot of gamified, gaming experience, but not necessarily fun because it's not really built by gaming industry. It's really built by crypto-friendly people that think they can create a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like your service is kind of going the other side, is saying, hey, there's some people that have plenty of years of experience of building really good games that are fun, and then you're kind of doing a lot of hand holding
Mm-hmm.
to show them all the services and benefits of moving on chain.
Mm-hmm.
When you have those conversations, does it feel like there's an understanding amongst the developers and directors and designers of how to leverage the blockchain, or there's still kind of like the sense of, hey, this is a boilerplate NFT and you can add that into your economy, but are they really being creative and innovative and taking the lead, or did there's still a lot of learning curve before we really see some innovation coming from the traditional gaming and getting into Web3?
Yeah, that is a very interesting question to say. Well, we have been talking with a lot of even the game studio, the traditional game studio, and they want really to transform into Web3, and they have been in struggling, and even their mind they don't really believe in the Web3 gaming, right? But they still want to join because there's a business opportunities and a chance for them to earn money from that as well. But actually, not all the game studio they really understand the blockchain, because they thought that, hey, it's just a trend, right? It just come and go, but it's not really like that. So it's really hard to say that the market is really understanding the tech like a blockchain to apply in the game. Well, but frankly, I think if a game studio or a Web3 game builder, let's say, if they really want to join into the Web3 gaming, they would really need to understand the not just the tech itself, but also they need to really understand the market. But it's different market, right? In the Web2 game traditional, hey, it's just a player. They really want to play for fun, and they you can pay a lot of money to to level up your like a fight or something. But it's very different from the Web3, because we have the crypto investor as well, not just a gamer. So they need to really understand that, and also they need to kind of expert in the field to advise them. So that's why a lot of gaming studio they recruit, or they partnering with some expert in the field in blockchain, whether they want to convert their studio or game into Web3. And the third thing is that they also need like how to say, they need to also have the let's say the incubator or the accelerator, something like ICF, like your organization, for them to help them in terms of the community building, in terms of marketing, because even marketing is totally different between the Web2 and Web3, right? And they need also the people to guide them how to not just develop the game, but how to build a good in-game ecosystem, sustainable growth, and also tokenomics could be good, because we have a kind of investor as well. Yeah, so that's what I thought, and that is what we experience of working with some game studios, a lot of game studios, because in ICLab we have a game studio as well. We have a Mirai studio who develop a big world like master game, and we have been developing also the casual game in Web2 in Web2 traditional as well. So we know the pain point of the gaming studio.
Oh, and I wanted to follow that up. Do you think in the future DeFi will be hosted on things like GameFi, where it'll have like a nice interface and all those things?
So your question, let's say regarding the DeFi, what is the DeFi in the future? Let's say, sorry.
Yeah, so perhaps like in something like Decentraland, right? Instead of having a website like a Uniswap where you click a bunch of buttons, maybe it can be as simple as using an
Or like
avatar,
DeFi
going to a
kingdoms.
hub. Yeah, basically like that. Like, do you think the
Mm-hmm.
future of DeFi will be built on top of a GameFi platform?
Yeah. Well, that is what the world is transforming right now. Let's say, to be honest, because what we're trying to do right now, even for the DeFi product, something we put in kind of gamification for them as well, because it's not really boring, right? For example, let's say we have a project that we call like a game GPT something. So it really follow trend of chat GPT, but it's something AI that we gamify everything in the in kind of project like even DeFi or social fi. We focus on social fi first, but I think DeFi should be the same. Whether it's not just like something boring. I'm sorry to say boring, but it's old fashioned, right? Like we go into a website, you swap and then, Pancake or Uniswap something, but that it's a kind of it's kind of human sense, right? So normally human want to play something at the games. So everything in the like a game, so they really want something to be gamified. So that's why that is what transforming in the market right now. So yes, the question is yes, it could be pretty much in the coming future, let's say. So not just DeFi itself, something like a traditional DeFi. Maybe we have a DeFi 3.0 something.
What are some of the things that most excite you about you know games integrating crypto and like having there be some kind of uh market aspect to gaming?
Uh, well, let's say for me, well, because I love to play the game, right? So I'm the gamer. I'm not really good gamer, but I love to play the game. So for 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 me and Ashlab in general as well, because I share before. So actually we really believe that um, gaming is something like the most suitable business case use case to use blockchain, because we we haven't seen many utilities and many applications to use blockchain in the real world. Actually, we have, right? It's some kind of wallet, some kind of bank accept to paying some by cryptocurrency, but it's not really obvious. But gaming is something like that. So what we believe that gaming it is still the booming for the blockchain. So that's why our our vision from iSnap is actually I can share that is onboarding the next billion Web2 users to Web3 user. So to do that, we have a full range of the support as a service, as a platform for the Web3 builders to be more efficiently, more easier to onboard the Web2 user. So our still interest is it's developing still all the platform and service to support the Web3 game to be more sustainable, to be more successful, to be more well developed for the huge market in cryptocurrency, let's say.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you think there's any interest like for GameFi to eventually come to consoles? Like do you think Sony and Microsoft are interested in bringing it to Xbox and PlayStation eventually? Like how close are we to that, you think?
Yeah, I think that could be possible, let's say, because that even the Web3 games or even Web2 game, they need to be, let's say, from beginning is the infrastructure, right? So the infrastructure, let's say, for all the giants like Microsoft, like Google, like Amazon, or even Facebook, we know that they still invest also in infrastructure. And the other thing is that the hardware device, right? The infrastructure hardware device. So that's why all the big giant, they still research on the device to bring, like a games into the device, right? So like Facebook, they have a Horizon. For Microsoft, they have the HoloLens. No, Facebook, they have the Oculus. Microsoft HoloLens, and we have like a Magic AI, Magic Leap AI. We have Google. I don't really know, but Apple, they have glasses as well, right? So whenever they are successful in bringing the device to support the games, and it could be pretty easy when all the system integrate together. So blockchain is just something, like a technology that could be very easy to integrate. And the other thing is that instead of paying like a traditional game, like you pay by credit, you pay by cash or something like that, or the card to the telecom. It's pretty easy for you to play in the system by the cryptocurrency. So I think that should be a must for the big giant. Whenever everything in the ecosystem, they accept cryptocurrency at the like a money, right? So that, I think that in future, but it pretty near future, that should be a must for them as well, because they don't really want to lose the opportunities, the big giants, to kind of market. So everyone jump into that as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was like, why would they miss the opportunity to have like their own in-game, NFT marketplace or something? It just doesn't make sense. And so I think once they see the potential opportunity for how much money they could make, they'll probably come around to it pretty soon.
Yeah, the thing is that all the big giants, they are building, like I mentioned, they are focusing on the infrastructure, because that is what the most strength in that, right? Because like us, we cannot build the infrastructure, let's say the big infrastructure like that, right? So the big giant, they're thinking of that first. So whenever they have an infrastructure, they have a really platform for like metaverse, or open game 5, something like that. So whenever they have that, all the Web3 builders for the game, they need to use their infrastructure and platform, right? So that is where they have a big opportunity in that. So they are really focusing on that first, and the application, they let the others, like company like us to build.
One second, guys. I'm bringing in motion up. You requested to speak. Yep, going on in motion.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
What's up, everybody? Thanks for having me up here.
No problem, man. How's it going?
And we're just talking with Hoy. He's the vice president of production over at Ice-T Labs, and yeah, we're just talking all things gaming and metaverse, and he kind of has a first-person view of all the development that's going on across the crypto space, as far as all that's concerned. So if you want to give any of your statements to him, or ask him any questions about what he's doing over at Ice-T Labs and what they're about, feel free to do so, brother.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, can you give me some background?
Oh, Hoy, that was a question for you.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, just something lagging. Well, Yeah, so I already mentioned to you guys, but I repeated that I have 20 more than 20 years of experience in the IT industry. Let's say from the software developer to the technical leader, project manager, something, and I led also some startup company as well to build the product mostly on the IT for the enterprises, for the for the education and for the medical as well before joining the ICT lab. So got 6 year, more than 6 years experience in the blockchain tech. So T, the CEO of IC Lab right now is my friend. So we have been knowing each other like for that more than 15 years. So that's why we joined together to develop the blockchains and what we're trying to do right now in IC Lab is onboarding the next billion users of the gaming into Web3. That is the vision from IC Lab to say.
That is fantastic. So I actually have kind of a similar background. So I have about 25 years experience software engineering in the healthcare oncology research space. And on top of that, I personally, I am a huge like simulation and game engine development hobbyist. So I'm actually I over the past couple of months, I've actually been like thinking about how to do like game development for the web, or for Web3 specifically. And this has been something that's like really been like on my mind about how to get the next generation of just accessible gaming to Web3 users. So it's a really, really interesting topic, and there's not a lot like if you want to think about like games that are decentralized completely, like how does that even work? So I personally right now I'm building a browser-based OpenGL game that's open world, massively multiplayer. But in a sense of like getting it into like a DeFi space, like where are the assets going to be stored? Are they going to be inside of NFTs? Or are they going to be like provided by the game, and then your token allows you access to those? How do you authenticate? How do you do all that stuff? So there's a lot of really interesting questions, and there's definitely standards that need to be made in this industry that are not even close to being available.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So interesting. Let's say. So I've shared with the Filipinos here is that in ICDAP we're trying to focus on building of kind of infrastructure, tools, platform, and service for the Web3 builder, especially for the game. So if you see GameFi.org from IC Lab, we provide even for the we have a GameFi passport. It won't be the DID. And we have an infrastructure layer of the blockchains that we call fiber. So let's say we build on top of Cosmos SDK. So it kind of nearly zero fee, something like that, to support for that. And we have a GK of roll up as well, technology to apply in our blockchain network. And we also have a gaming hub, and we have the Soulbound token in GameFi.org as well. So if you are really a player to connect with the GameFi.org, so we are like a not just gaming hub, we also positioning us as like an open game world, something like that. So if you are really a user, so you have all your profile, you have all the assets, you have all the portfolio, even that is token or NFT, something, it could be really managed and let's say in the future you can swap something like that. But it's in the same system. So if you build like a web the web GL game, let's say, in the web, it could be pretty easy to integrate with a system like a GameFi.org, that you have everything in place for the game, let's say. So you just focus on building the games yourself, but the other stuff like a login, like a profile player for Soulbound token, access like an NFT token or other things, something. will be managed and connected by GameFi.org. So that's what is something similar to what you mentioned in the market, but we're trying to improve the feature in our the whole ecosystem to support for the whole game.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, definitely good luck to you, and I really hope you guys make strides in that space. And they're like like the more competition and the more the more product that gets developed in this space, the better off we all are. So I salute to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do have a question for you guys, both of you. Because I had a space on Wednesday around UI and UX, and obviously, most of us will have a consensus that the wallet experience is a big blocker to get mass adoption. And when I think of gamers who don't care about NFTs or Web3 or what have you, I'm sure having to worry about seed phrase or private key is the last thing on their mind. So how do you tackle that for Web2 company that you're working with?
Yeah. Well, so I come first. Let's say sorry. Actually, let's say recently we've been working with some partner that who provide kind of let's say the payment, right? Let's say something like a payment. So they have a system something, or they will have system to do the intermediate wallet like the traditional one. So they accept the credit card, they accept the even the fiat, and then it will be very easy for them to transfer to sorry to the token NFT, let's say. So it won't be the different type wallet, not just like a MetaMask to need to remember a lot of things, but it's really like a traditional wallet, but it support crypto. So in the market right now, there's a lot of provider they provide the solution like that. So it for the user experience that you're right in terms of for especially for the gamer, they don't even want to disturb it by private key remember or something like that. So that's why the solution is right now in the market, but it's not just for me personally. I think it's not just perfect yet, but it wouldn't be in the very near future if they improve all those type of connection between the partners, the bank, the organization like a MasterCard, like a Visa, something. It could be pretty smooth in the very near future. So that will remove the barrier of something like a crypto wallet.
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely we're in such early stages of all this that we're like asking for like the brand or the most latest version of design and user experience aspect from the internet back in the 70s when it was first developed, right? So there's still a whole lot of ways to make this experience seamless. Like in my opinion, in the future of all of this, we're gonna have blockchain access be like probably device based or device linked, so that you never even have to worry about you don't even have to know what about anything about the chain that you're on. You have access to your tokens, you have access to your NFTs, you have access to whatever not NFTs, but whatever digital assets that you hold. And you don't have to worry about all that other stuff, because just like when you make a payment with Apple Pay, you have 99.9% of people have no clue how that transaction works in the background. And that's how it should be for anything crypto related. It shouldn't be difficult. It should just be seamless.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of implementation details that we get to see today, but I feel like I don't know how to measure in terms of years, but it just makes sense that a lot of those details will be abstracted. The danger is if the users don't see it, then the values that we care about, like decentralization or permissionlessness, they won't know, right? So it'll make no difference whether it's a custodial, non-custodial wallet. So I wonder how that transition happened. Obviously, if we come up with like the decentralized alternative and they're superior, then it makes sense. But I guess if you're a gamer, it doesn't matter. And so I guess my question is the future kind of like a hybrid version where users don't know actually if it's decentralized or not, but it doesn't matter?
I think just the introduction of everything that we're kind of growing up with, not growing up with, but kind of what we're learning alongside with on the zero knowledge front. Like, can you imagine just the aspect of zero knowledge authentication, the massive strides it would do for the world versus stupid passwords and usernames? Like, that alone will change the world, let alone everything else that ZK promises.
Yeah, you're right. Let's say for the GKs, a lot of organization and foundation in the blockchain, they are research. It's just like algorithm, but it's a lot of blockchain network like Polygon. It's a pioneer, and recently BNB chain as well. We are trying to apply GK general knowledge into their blockchain. So let's say it will be supporting like the hybrid model. It's very easy to deploy, but the matter is at the users who can accept that. So you already mentioned that if if you remove the decentralized, you remove the transparency, it is not, it's not blockchain anymore, right? but but people need to be really balanced. But with the support from the general knowledge, it could be possible. Yeah, I think.
Well, that's awesome. It's been a great discussion. I see we're closing in on the hour, so Hoy, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and join us and talk some shop and introduce us to what you guys are building over at Ice T Labs and what you're also doing for the industry. I know you guys are working on stuff for BNB Chain and Polygon, and hopefully within the next year or so, you guys can help out some developments going on over with our friends over at Saga XYZ. I know they're building out their infrastructure to host things like GameFi
Mm-hmm.
in the Metaverse. So I look forward to having you again on soon. Dow, I see you have your hand up. What's going on, brother?
I got one last question. Do we have time for it? Like a
Yeah,
quick question.
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So for Huey and the rest of the panels, because we talked about like Web 2 game, like being onboarded to Web 3. But on the other side, like when you're looking at like native Web 3 gaming or GameFi gaming, what project are you most excited about? The one that being in development or already released? Uh, Illuvium, Bored Ape, the other side, or Amber, so like things like that. What are you most excited about? Like, what's your favorite game that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so
So
you
for
mean the game? Yeah, you mean the games?
Yeah, like a GameFi game that's either up and coming or already released. That's like a truly on-chain game.
Well, so my from my perspective, let's say, so personally, before I love kind of model of Axie Infinity. So it's pretty like a simple game for the GameFi, and I still love that. I have friends working in Sky Market as well, so they are still under development, a lot of feature to improve the Axie Infinity. So for me, my personal interest, I still love Axie Infinity. Is kind of simple the game fight. Uh, the others, let's say terminologies that I love myself. It's I share with you is that open game world, right? So I really love to develop that or to be involved in that. I don't really see the open game world in the Web3, but I really love to be involved in such kind of that open game world. even that is platform or the game itself. Let's say we love to join some kind of that.
Yeah, for myself, I would say that as far as hosting platforms, it'd be Saga XYZ. And as far as games that are out right now, of course, I do have a bias for Illuvium. That's probably like my top game. But there are some things in development that I'm excited about, like Baritone. That's going to be developed on Barachain. I really like what those guys are building. I hosted those dudes earlier this week
Yeah, they were
with the
great.
Honeycast. Yeah, and I
They
checked.
bring a lot of great energy.
Yeah, I checked what they're building. There's a lot of GameFi stuff going on Barachain, and I think that moving forward, if there's some DeFi aspects built on top of GameFi as the infrastructure, I think you can have a lot of like retention on that market share instead of it just being we'll farm these tokens and then all right, that's it. Like it's no longer fun, right? A few clicks of a button and that's it. I think DeFi Kingdoms almost had the right model, but it just came short of a
Yeah, it
few
got
key
exploited.
elements. Yeah, especially the bridge, and I think with Saga and their chainlit model, I think that's going to be industry standard moving forward, and some other things as well, like Celestia and Fuel Labs. I like what those guys are doing. I think it's going to be some good hosting platforms for GameFi. So yeah, man, I want to thank everyone that came on up here as speakers, and also Hoy. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
And
so much, Troy.
Yeah,
Hoy,
my pleasure.
where can people find you guys over at Ice T Lab? I don't think it came through. Hoy, are you able to hear me?
Hello.
I I was gonna
Hello.
I was just
We
gonna I
can
was
hear you
just
now.
gonna yeah I was gonna ask where can people find you from Ice T Labs, where can we find you guys? I posted something on the Nest as well, like the link to the Twitter profile and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, so let's say if, we so let's say I will send the information from the ISD lab for you if you can share to the people in the panel also to other, let's say, right?
Yeah, I just put it up on the Nest. So yeah, guys, thank you all so much.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure to
It
join.
was a pleasure to speak to you.
The trading current is just math. It's just math. It has a 95.45% hit rate when we deviate outside of CP2 and CN2. All you had to do is recognize that 95% of the time when we get over here, under this blue line, we get some sort of mean reversion. So let's just assume you long right here. 95 out of 100 times, when I buy this, I'm going to get some sort of bounce. It's just math. Look what would have happened as we move up. Look at the bounce that came after. And now look where we are. If you had just blindly followed the current, you take all emotions out of it, and you say, I'm going to trust the statisticians, you would have bought Dow Jones somewhere down here under 30,000. Depending on how you want to measure it from absolute top to bottom, 20% move. We also have multi-time frame alerts. You don't even have to be at your computer on TradingView. You can ping your phone. Now, the current has some really awesome features, and I would urge you guys to join our Discord to get access to it. We give it away for free as a tool to the community. It's just math. There's really no need to overcomplicate things, not even in the slightest.